Welcome back, everyone. Oregon football with Chip Kelly, the Return of the Quack edition here on after the new song is out. And I would say the fans were fired up. They enjoyed that. Just as a side note, that video already has more than 300,000 views on YouTube. It shows you the popularity of the Ducks. 300,000. And we're taping this on Sunday night. That's in 2 days' time. 300,000 views. How about that?
That's good, isn't it, huh?
Just a little factor.
A little bit of fun.
Proving that I'm better at math than
man, I'll tell you
thought.
what. Yeah, well, it's popular. I mean, it's the Duck is it right now.
He
so,
is.
Coach, you head into the fourth quarter, and what's amazing is you start it with a bang, and everything starts to take effect. Your outside, your inside game, now play action fake right off the bat to start the fourth quarter.
It is. When you see a defense starting to make plays with their secondary getting involved and making as many tackles as their secondary had to make, you have to get them now to defend the entire field vertically and setting up the play action pass. And we felt like we had a good play call. I was trying to get it called. We barely just didn't get it off right at the end of the third quarter. I really wanted to get it called then, but we felt like we'd give it to them out of a different look, and we did. Made a good adjustment, and our players picked it up. You watch their secondary, the two guys that were in man coverage, let their guys go just for half a second, and that's all it takes. And Drew Davis ran a great route in there and put the ball on the money.
Let's get to it. First play of the fourth quarter was a big one for the Ducks.
Here is Thomas. Well, Michael, no, that's Barner to his left now. And Thomas going to keep it back to throw the ball. Down to the end zone. Got him. He's got it. Touchdown, Oregon. Drew Davis.
Not only does Drew run a great pattern, but Darren Thomas stands in there and takes a shot, Coach.
Yeah, he stands in there as good as any quarterback I've ever been around, and just focuses on his target, puts the ball out there and takes a shot. And you'll see him grow as a leader, and our players talk about it. They kind of marvel at him on film as the shots the kid's taken over the course of these first 5 games, and stands in there, and our players love playing with him.
That makes it 45-31. A team like Stanford is not going to lay down, though, even though they've allowed a lot of points now in the last 2.5 quarters per se. They're not going to lay down. They come back and start to pick up some good chunks. That was Andrew Luck for 21 yards. And they start to work their way down the field, Coach. It's not easy, though. It's third down every time. First, second, third. First, second, third. They didn't convert on this, except when they got down into the red zone. They were not able to do it.
Our defense knew they had to make it difficult, not give up an easy score when you're up 14, and make them go the distance. If they go the distance, they're going to have to work the clock, and then eventually that's going to come out to our advantage, because there's probably not going to be enough game to get the 2 scores in.
Coach, it's amazing, too. This is a team that's very confident when they get in the red zone. Had not been stopped all year long in the red zone, and yet you stop them twice here late in the game in the fourth quarter. And, again, huge plays right here. You stop them just short of the goal line. Who knew how big a play that was going to be until you see this one?
You got to keep fighting. You got to keep battling. You got to not worry about the score or the play clock or anything like that. And eventually good things will happen to you. And our guys are living this right now.
This is 4th and goal from the 6. Luck looking around. Great defense. Gets it knocked away. And Oregon holds and still has not allowed a point in the fourth quarter this year. This is 5 games in. Not a single point in the fourth quarter, Coach.
No, it was a great play by Anthony Gilden, who's playing fantastic for us at the corner and doing some really good things. And another guy in the secondary that's contributing a lot of good plays for us.
The importance here, too, Coach, of getting this ball out away from your end zone. I mean, if you can put together a long scoring drive, great. But nonetheless, get the field position back. And that's what this drive really has an effect on, is to get it out of your own end zone and get it out of the shadow of your goalpost.
It did, and we know with our kicker we can change the field position. It also burned about 4 minutes of clock. So
Jackson Rice back and directional punt. Nice looking spiral, good hang time, and drives him right out of bounds. Doesn't get much better than that, does it, Coach?
No, and that's one of our plays of the game for our special teams is that directional punt that Jackson had along with our onside kick.
Cardinal come back. Luck to Whalen. They're pretty much exclusively through the air now, given the score and how much time's left on the clock. They continue to fight and work the ball down there. It's a 9 yards and 4 yards and 5 yards. Again, Coach, like you talked about, you're making them work for it, but they were able to get a big one here. This is a completion to Fleener. Then we're going to see one to Baldwin. But then they do get behind your defense for a big one after that.
Yeah, and that's the one we probably want back. We blew a coverage there, and we get a chance. Deion Jordan does a great job here flushing Andrew and getting him to come out of the pocket, and all of a sudden we lost some guy, and that ball was a little better thrown than me. He may have scored a touchdown.
First down from the Duck 11. Here's Andrew Luck under center. Back to throw the ball. Looks left. Swings it to the corner for the fade, and it is intercepted in the end zone.
Played perfectly by Cliff Harris again, Coach. Seals his receiver in the back corner of the end zone along the line, keeps the leverage, and then just plays the ball.
Cliff does a great job when the ball's in the air. You know, the ball's a little bit underthrown. John Boyette comes over and does a great job of helping, but he's really, really good when the football's thrown.
So it looks like that's probably going to do it, but the Ducks are not done yet after the big play. And there's a look at number 13, who's had a season worth of highlights to this point, and only 5 games in with all the interceptions. And then one last little message for all of those Heisman voters out there.
Here's 3rd down and 3. And LaMichael up the middle, busted, and he's gone! LaMichael James, baby, not going to catch that man. 10-5. Statement. LaMichael James.
Boy, Coach, look at the blocking up front. Holmes, Kaiser, Asper, they really open up a nice hole for him.
They do. We knew we had to get a first down here and probably seal the game with a 14-point lead. And we talked about it all game long. I talked about it with LaMichael on the sideline that, you know, eventually one of these is going to break, and it broke for 70+ and a touch.
Well, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns for LaMichael James, 355 all-purpose for Darren Thomas, and 4 touchdowns. And a great scene at Autzen on the field, game day, doing their post-game. I mean, Oregon Duck football was on center stage on this Saturday afternoon, and a beautiful day in the Willamette Valley, and Oregon delivered.
It was a great game. Hats off to Stanford. Very talented football team, very well coached. You know, hats off to the fans. Did a great job. You know, we got the best fans in the country, and that was the most fun I've had in a football game in a long time.
Yeah, it was really fun. You know, you always want to play in these big games. I mean, I love these big games. I love playing on these great opponents like Stanford, and it really was a great atmosphere tonight.
Had a lot of fun. Every time game day's here, you know, Autzen is always jumping. They opened up the student section for more students, so it's even louder than it usually is. So it was 10 times better than it usually is, and it's just a lifetime experience.
Oh, yeah. Our coach, Coach Kelly, preached about finishing, so we know we're going to finish. We want to come out with better starts weeks to come, but we know we're going to finish, so we just got to keep working, just keep grinding.
Oh, I think we're doing a great job, but, you know, it's always room for improvement. You know, it's only the 5th game. We still got, 8 more games to go, something like that. So, you know, it's always we got to improve a lot more improvement, especially on the defense side of the ball. You know, we felt like we gave up a whole lot of points. You know, our offense do a great job at scoring points on the ball. We should have their back and, you know, try to limit the scores on other teams. So, you know, I feel like we got a lot of work to do.
Well, we'll come back. We'll talk about Washington State, Coach. Again, they played a very good game against UCLA, had some chances. They actually had a touchdown called back in that game that would have maybe changed the outcome as they took on the Bruins inside the Rose Bowl on Saturday night. We'll come back and talk about that with head coach Chip Kelly after this. Welcome back, everyone. Oregon football with Chip Kelly. And, Coach, you're on the road to Washington State. The Palouse is always an interesting place to go. It's hard to get to if you're a Duck fan, but I'm sure you're going to have lots of fans there. They're starting to sniff a sellout as well. They have not had a sellout in a long time. They have homecoming. It's Parents' Weekend. It's, you know, in the afternoon, a 2 o'clock start. So we think there'll be a big crowd there for your team to visit you in Martin Stadium on Saturday.
Martin Stadium is a very difficult place to play. They've got a good home record themselves. I know the Ducks went up there a couple years ago and lost. You know, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. We're really very, very well aware that no one in this conference you can overlook, and they'll have our full attention starting on Monday.
And anytime you're playing a team that has a pretty mobile quarterback, it can cause some problems for you, can't it?
Yeah, he's a young sophomore, Jeff Toole. He came in last year, about 3 or 4 games into the season, played his opening debut was at USC in the Coliseum and did a great job. Played against us last year out here. I think he's one of the good young quarterbacks in this league. He's a sophomore. Darren's a sophomore. Barkley's a sophomore. Luck's a sophomore. Katz at Oregon State is a sophomore. There's some talented quarterbacks in this league, and he's one of them.
Well, best of luck at that game, Coach. A little TV situation on that. I know there's lots of things going around. The game will be played at 2. We'll have a delayed broadcast for you at 6:30 right here on the Oregon Sports Network. The Pac-10 Conference did not allow the waiver at 4 o'clock, which was when both teams could televise it. The Washington State partner cannot clear the game on their station, and so that made it be at 2 o'clock. They couldn't move it up earlier because of their homecoming festivities, and so you will have to watch at 6:30 right here on this very station for the Oregon-Washington State game, and then, of course, the ensuing replays. And then, of course, Coach will be back here to wrap it up next. We'll tape on Sunday, and folks will see it Monday night at 8 o'clock right here on Comcast Sports Net. Thanks again for coming in. That was fun.
No problem. What time is kickoff on Saturday?
I'm going to work on my math.
I'm confused.
The numbers thing I just don't have down.
Just get there.
You just get there?
Just get there, okay.
6:30 to watch it right here on Comcast Sports Net, and then 2 o'clock is when the kickoff is in Pullman, and we'll be happy to see you all in Pullman if you can make it as well. And then, we'll just talk about when we're going to do this after that. We don't want to get too many numbers involved, right?
That's right.
Okay. For Mike Jorgensen and the coach, I'm Joe Johnsati. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time right here on Oregon Football with Chip Kelly.